Coming up on First at 4, folks in central Kentucky are in the cleanup phase after several tornadoes touched down. And the White House and President Biden face more questions about the discovery of classified documents as a special counsel investigates.
Those lake effect snow and upslope chances continue through tonight, but the cold looks to last a little bit longer. The latest ahead as First at 4 continues.
Mountain News First at 4 continues.
Certainly been a wild couple of weather days in Kentucky, but will the cold and snowy conditions continue into the weekend? Let's check in with meteorologist Evan Hatter for the latest on this First Alert weather day.
Well, Steve, the cold, I would say yes. The snow chances, though, start to wind up as we head a little bit later on into tonight. Not that it's a huge threat to begin with, but it is kind of pretty to see. You look out the window and go, hey, it's snowing outside. In fact, here's a look outside our windows right now here at WYMT, quite literally, as a matter of fact, out the front door here at WYMT. Yes, we're seeing a few of those very small snowflakes falling. We're at 32 here in Hazard. There's the flakes flying. You can see the rain or the melted snow on the camera lens from UVA Wise, where it's a little bit colder in the upper 20s right now. Most of us are in the middle and upper 30s right now, or at least the low to middle 30s. Wind chills, not crazy, right around where the air temperature is, but if they are out there, about 5 to 7 degrees cooler than the air temperature. So it does feel colder than yesterday, but this is not an Arctic blast by any stretch of the imagination, especially compared to what we had right around the Christmas holiday. Yes, we are seeing a little bit of snow out there right now. Not all of this is reaching the ground. Not all of this is sticking to the ground. In fact, very little of it, as a matter of fact, is sticking to the ground. But like I said, it is kind of fun to look outside and go, hey, it's snowing. In any case, we'll continue to see that potential as we head later on into tonight. I don't think temperatures are going to drop fast enough to support snow starting to stick on the roads, so I don't think we see a ton of issues with traffic. But again, those temperatures are near freezing, so it's something we'll watch. And that's why we say keep the First Alert weather app handy, because not only does it work on cellular data and you have it anywhere you have cell service, you also get our forecast there, and you'll see we start to diminish those temperatures into the 20s later on tonight, but it's not a dramatic drop by any means. The details on when we return to some above average temperatures in a few minutes. Steve?
Evan, thanks. The White House is facing more questions about why President Biden had classified documents stored at several different locations. CBS's Nicole D'Antonio has more from Capitol Hill.
President Biden ignored reporters' questions Friday about the special counsel investigation looking into his handling of classified material. Former federal prosecutor Robert Hur is overseeing the inquiry, looking at how documents marked classified from Biden's time as vice president ended up at a Capitol Hill office, as well as the garage and a nearby room of his Wilmington home.
We have been fully cooperating with the Department of Justice, and now we will be doing the same with the special counsel's office.
Republicans who took control of the House 10 days ago now have the power to open their own investigation, and they're demanding answers from the White House. Congressman James Comer, the head of the House Oversight Committee, sent a letter to the White House counsel demanding to know where the documents were found, as well as all correspondence with the DOJ and National Archives.
They have no accounting or inventory of what classified documents they still possess and why they even possessed them to begin with.
The White House continues to face questions about why the discovery of the documents at the office and Mr. Biden's house were not revealed sooner. Nicole D'Antonio, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
The first batch of documents were discovered on November 2nd and turned over to the National Archives, but were not made public until CBS News asked about them this week. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy has invited President Biden to deliver the annual State of the Union address to Congress. The White House says the president has accepted the invitation. This year's State of the Union address will take place with Republicans now in control of the House. It's a position of power the party is using to launch congressional oversight investigations aimed at the Biden administration. The address is scheduled for Tuesday, February 7th. Well, back to weather now. People have a lot of cleaning up to do after storm damage in parts of central Kentucky, and today snow began to fall in those impacted areas. Several tornadoes damaged homes, barns, and took down trees in Boyle and Mercer counties. WYMT's Phil Pendleton spoke to folks about their losses.
Large pine trees lost their tops and other trees like the ones behind me uprooted. The owner of this home here says it's amazing to him that this tornado simply took out all these trees, jumped over his house, took part of his barn and then more trees that way, but did not do any damage at all to his house. However, there was one garage here that was destroyed. Emergency management officials say the National Weather Service surveyed this damage yesterday and said the tornado that touched down here was a different one that hit Mercer County, that it was wider and more sporadic. The owner of this home says the garage at the end of the driveway and the truck inside are both total losses and will have to be replaced. The tornado also took down a lot of trees and left minor damage to a few homes. People say they are fortunate the storms did not cause further damage to their homes. As in Mercer County, this tornado did not cause any injuries, but the damage assessments are ongoing. Boyle County, Phil Pendleton, now back to you.
Officials say the Boyle County tornado had a bouncing effect instead of staying on the ground for a long period of time. Counties across the state are now receiving the first payments from an opioid settlement announced last year. Floyd County, which is one of many who received its first payment, was awarded $875,000 and will receive $250,000 next year and $125,000 for 16 more consecutive years. Floyd County Judge Executive Robbie Williams added that the settlement amount should have been higher, but is thankful to receive the funds.
To be quite honest, I think the amount of money that we received is nowhere near enough money to repair the lives that have been destroyed in this country, not only Eastern Kentucky and Floyd County, but this country.
Williams added that the total amount Floyd County will receive is more than $3 million and will be used for programs geared towards addiction treatment, youth awareness, and more. We'll have more on this from Floyd County tonight at 6. Singer Lisa Marie Presley, the daughter of Elvis Presley, was hospitalized and later died yesterday following an apparent cardiac arrest. Presley died after suffering that cardiac arrest, and her death comes just days after appearing at the Golden Globes to support the film Elvis about her late father. Dr. Vincent Sorrell is the chief of the cardiovascular division at UK Hospital, and he says cardiac arrest can be unexpected. Sorrell also says it's important to act fast and to use a defibrillator if you have one nearby.
If you don't have one and you call 911 and they're bringing you an AED, a defibrillator, you can continue to push, on the chest at a rate of, staying alive by the Bee Gees around 100 times a minute.
American Heart Month is coming up in February, and the American Heart Association says they will be making a big push around CPR with several local opportunities for people to learn hands-only CPR. Coming up on First at 4 are cheaper store brand items just as good as well-known major brands. Products are being put to the test to see if there's a difference.
Plus some cold and snow showers now. You see the winter weather advisory in place, but changes on the way again. Those details in a few.